If you've been practicing Kemetic spirituality for about 3 months and you still haven't noticed a positive change, then time to go back to the drawing board because something's not ma'at. That's Boo fam. Peace and blessings. This is Derric Rau Khu more. And wanted to kind of make a little small video. You know me in small videos. But I wanted to go ahead and make a small video to kind of talk about the secret to actually practicing Kemetic spirituality. Part of the reason why I'm making this video is because there was a couple of videos that came across my feed, and I'm sitting up here and I'm watching it and everything, and there was a lot of good information that they did, the video content creators that they put together. A lot of, great information that they put together, historical information. But when it came to actually talking about ma'at, that's when it got confusing, okay? And part of the reason why it got confusing is because a lot of people go in here and they always talk about the fact that all the divinities, the Kemetic divinities, they're personifications, okay? For instance, Ma'at is the personification of order and balance and righteousness and truth, the personification of this, all right? But a lot of times I've noticed that when people are going in here and they're making that, they're saying it's a personification, even though they're saying a personification, or they hear this and they say this in their, in speech, they're still, for the most part, treating the divinities as if they are gods and goddesses that exist outside themselves. All right? Now, let me give you kind of explain what I mean by that. Because it's a personification, Ma'at, for instance, is a personification of cosmic order. That means that everything that basically Ma'at is dealing with, everything that we look at in our universe that is, going according, that is working, that is operating and functioning, it is all based upon a cosmic order. It's based upon that cosmic plan. All right? So when you see something that goes awry, then it's like that is where you see your chaos. That's where you see your isfet. That's where you see your imbalance. Now, part of the reason why that's a little difficult to understand is because most of us, especially if we grew up here in the West, in any Western society, most of us, we have not been taught critical thinking, all right? And as you know, most of you, that I'm a teacher, and that's one of the things I always, math teacher, and that's one of the things I always stress. That's one of the things I always am looking for and trying to develop in students is their ability to critical think, But the problem that I'm finding is that part of the reason why a lot of people, they're not able to critically think because they're too wrapped up into their emotions. And if you go back and you look at really the Kemetic spiritual system, and you take away, if you take away all the symbols, take away all of that, okay, take away everything that you actually know, everything that you've learned, and you kind of look at it from an emotional perspective or from a metaphorical perspective, and kind of go ahead and look at that, look at some of the legends, look at the judgment scene, look at that from a metaphorical perspective, you'll get the understanding, or you'll start to see what the secret is, all right? We are not just judged, for instance, the whole judgment scene, we are not just judged on our last day of judgment. Every day we are judged. Every day your heart is weighed against the feather of Ma'at. Every day. Every situation you get into, your heart is being weighed against the feather of Ma'at. But see, we're not understanding that because we're looking at it as, oh, well, the Kemetic people or the ancient Egyptians, they went ahead and they were all concerned about, the afterlife. No, they were concerned about doing righteousness and living righteousness all the time. If you went ahead and you let your emotions get to you, you let your anger get to you, all right, then the Amet monster swallowed your heart. That's what that means. It's not waiting to the last day of your actual physical carnation, your incarnation here, and that's when you're going to be judged. Yeah, that judgment comes as well. That's the big judgment. That's the great judgment. Okay? But in the meantime, the things that you're supposed to be doing daily, you're supposed to be managing yourself or managing your behavior daily. Okay? Some of us want to go ahead, we want to live by the 42 laws of Ma'at, okay? Which I've stressed before, are declarations. And they're declarations that was meant for those individuals back in the ancient times. Different kind of, we live in a different time. We live in an entirely different period. So some of those, or a lot of those, do not apply. That's the reason why we have to look at this from a critical thinking perspective and see, what is it that I am doing in this lifetime that is causing imbalance, that is causing isfet, that is causing chaos and disorder in my life. That's the secret to practicing Kemetic spirituality. It is not about going ahead and romanticizing what they did back in ancient times. What they did in ancient times, it worked for them because they lived in a society where they had a hierarchy. They had, king and queens and a priesthood who actually gave a damn about them. They had, there was a agrarian society, completely different from where we live now. Completely different. Okay? So we have to go ahead, we have to make that change. We have to make that adjustment. We can't do all the things that they did back in ancient times because we don't live in that time. All right? But the secret to practicing Kemetic spirituality, people, the secret to practicing Kemetic spirituality, fam, is all about dealing with your emotions. That is our biggest issue. Okay? And this is the reason why we have so many media companies. Okay? We have this whole marketing thing. This is the reason why they've created all these different things, these different ways to distract us and keep us tied into our emotions. Okay? These individuals who know and who studied this whole, they have our ancestors' stuff locked up in museums and all that. They know this. Okay? They know that this right here is our emotions that are our greatest enemy. Okay? Now, I'm saying that because, and part of the reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, I was watching this video. I'm watching a couple of videos and they were talking about my aunt. And one of the things that kind of triggered was that they were going down, this individual, they were speaking about all the different declarations and mentioned, okay, well that, this one declaration, oh, that's not nice, because it was something that they didn't like. Okay? It wasn't a matter that it might cause a problem for society. It wasn't a matter that, if you violated this declaration, that's going to cause a problem in your household, cause a problem in your community, cause a problem, from a national perspective. That wasn't important. They didn't even look at that. It was the fact that, oh no, but I don't like this because that's, this is something I want to do. So what happens is that we got a lot of people who want to go ahead, oh, I'm Kemetic spirituality. I'm into Kemetic spirituality. I practice Kemetic spirituality. But they want to cherry pick. That's not how it works here. Okay? You can cherry pick all you want, but I guarantee you, you're not going to be rewarded for it. Now, I'm trying my best, and I've tried my best to not tell people, hey, this is right or this is wrong, because it's not, I'm not supposed to do that, okay? You have to go ahead and you have to choose your own path, all right? You have to go ahead and walk your own path, all right? You're developing into your own divinity, okay? All right. When Rau Khu passes in transitions and everything, then when my family and my descendants are calling upon Rau Khu, they know, hey, this is what he stood for. Okay. They know this is what I stood for. Okay. So I'm living my life based upon the truths of my aunt. And so that I can become a God in my own right. Okay? Now, if you don't want to become a God or a goddess in your own right, then don't live according to my aunt. Which means don't learn how to balance your emotions. Don't learn how to, don't learn how to suck it up. And say, okay, I got to do what's right because that's what's right. All right. I got to do what's my odd because that's what is my odd. All right. And this is the secret to living. This is the secret to Kemetic spirituality. It's not about doing something because you like it. If you want to do something because you like it, remember, you crossed over to Kemetic spirituality because you wanted something different. You wanted power. You wanted you wanted your divinity. You wanted to know and learn about the divine from within as well as outside of your being. You wanted to have knowledge of self. That's why you crossed over to Kemetic spirituality. But don't try to go ahead and make Kemetic spirituality back into these other religions or so that you went ahead and you left. That's not how it works. Okay? So, again, I'm trying not to make this a rant. Like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and help you out. Like I said, stop cherry picking. Okay? Do what's right because it's right. Even if it's hard, people. Okay? That's the whole point of it. If you're struggling with something, this is when you really see the strength, you see the power of, in Kemetic spirituality. This is when you really come into your own. This is where you really get a relationship with the all the different divinities or all the different spirits. Okay? You're not going to get that from going ahead and reading it from a book. You're not going to get that from somebody going ahead and giving into, oh, this is the kind of lifestyle I want to have, and this is the goddess or this is the god of this lifestyle. No. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You want to really develop and really understand how to work with the spirits, how to go ahead and what you really want to know what Ma'at is. Get into that bunch. Get into that bind. Okay. Get into that whole thing where you say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm struggling with this. How do I go ahead and get over this? How do I overcome this? That's when the divinities come in. Okay? That's when you really learn who Haru is or Horus or who Jehuti is or Thoth. That's how you really learn who they are. Not this definition stuff. Okay? So, like I said, just wanted to go ahead and I want to drop that. And, again, if you got any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to drop me a line, okay? Again, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Until next time, Hatchapu. Peace.